They told us to give a disclaimer. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters, any guests, and do not reflect any of the management, owners, sponsorships, or employees of thereof. Pretty much, if you're soft, don't listen to this podcast. One thing I pride myself on is just being the same and trying to look out for my folks along the way.
Like, even with all these, big things happening, like, you still mad humble, and you still, like, you have enough clout now where you could easily be like, I'm not fucking with this, I'm not fucking with that.
Oh yeah, motherfuckers, it's on. Unrestricted podcast listeners, welcome back. It's DreRawka, and I got a very special guest on the other side of me. I wrote this down just so I can get it right. The man, the brand, the king of the lemonade stand, my man, Manny Lemons. I'll just say Lemon Manny.
Lemon Manny. Oh, you hit it on the nail, brother. That was awesome.
Bro, it's been, we were just talking kind of off mic. It's been years. I've been trying to get you in here. Yeah. I am a huge fan of wrestling, professional wrestling, and I am a fan of supporting local. And when I heard about this thing called DCW, Devotion Championship Wrestling, in my community, I fell in love, man. I fell in love, and you were the face of it. You're the face of it. You're the owner-operator, right?
Owner-operator, yeah.
And you have a really cool brand. Saying all that, somebody that has wrestled 12 plus times just this year alone, what does all that mean to you? How does that make you feel?
Man, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's my dream, it was my passion. So, like, I'm humbled now to say that it's all I do for a living. I don't do anything else other than professional wrestling. Wow. But it took me, I've been wrestling since 2012, so it took me 11 years to get there. And, it goes with anything like podcasting, radioing. Like, you can understand it's building your brand and getting people to believe and invest into that brand. So the main brand for myself is obviously at the top of the chain. It's Manny Lemons first and foremost. Mm-hmm. I am a performer first and foremost. What I do in my performance and what I do when I go out to elevate myself, I bring back to the community here to help elevate the community of Utah wrestling. That's where Devotion Championship Wrestling comes in. I'm also the owner of the Al Snow Wrestling Academy, which is an actual academy and training school here in Utah. So we're training the stars of tomorrow within a facility just down the street from here. So
now, hold on. Al Snow, a legend.
Yes, sir.
Right? If you're a wrestling fan, you know Al Snow.
Yep.
You know the dummy head.
Yep.
How did that happen?
So it was back in the pandemic. We used the pandemic as really an opportunity to help elevate us. When the pandemic happened, everything stopped. People were trying to figure out, what do we do next? Where do we go next? When the pandemic happened, Utah was actually, we were working out of the Gateway. It actually ran one of the first independent wrestling shows in the country.
Wow.
And one of my buddies, Roman Roselle, he's out of Arizona. He was coming back and forth traveling to Utah. He was moving to OVW, which Al Snow was the owner of OVW. Al Snow kind of told him his vision of, like, he wants to have certain territories kind of all over the world to really build OVW and build his brand. So then he's like, well, Manny's got his thing in Utah. Like, why don't we go check it out? So in July of 2022, Al actually came out and was pretty impressed with what we had here and wanted to, hey, let's make this the Utah territory. So we elevated that, and, that kind of built the school there. But he endorses the school, I mean, if you look up on YouTube, we have a training modelage that we follow and we do for his curriculum, So that's kind of how that happened. With doing so, obviously, during the pandemic, it created opportunity where there wasn't a lot going on. Me and my wife at the time, Rekha Tahaka, we moved to Atlanta to train out at Cody and QT's school, the Nightmare Factory. And that was, I want to say, in November of 2020. So we've just really used it as an opportunity to get out there and build our brands, because through this whole experience, look, it's 2020. I'm back here in 2023. That was 3 years of experience and knowledge that I was able to gain to go to Georgia and meet the legends and learn from the biggest names in the industry. So I brought that back here to Utah, and that's something I'm pretty proud of, because now let's elevate the game in Utah. Let's make it bigger and better than it's ever been before.
You weren't scared. You weren't scared. The pandemic was a scary time.
It was a scary time.
You know what I mean? But you weren't scared. You learned some things along the way. A lot of people sat on their thumbs, right?
Yeah.
But you got after it.
It was one of those conversations. It's like, man, it's now or never. If I don't do something now, I'm never going to do it. And I could sit there, and so many people live in regret, and it's like, I want to become a star in this industry. Well, I got to go where the stars are. I got to go learn from the stars. I got to absorb from the stars. So by doing so, it's just getting out there. Like, no one knows about Utah wrestling. Now they do. It took 3 years to build it, though, you know?
Yeah.
We're coming up on our 5-year anniversary, and, you know, a lot of people, like, people don't understand that now, after everything we've done, we're now a unofficial developmental for AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, NWA. So, like, the biggest companies in the world. I have those connections, those assets. They ask me all the time, hey, do you have guys? Oh, let me see. Let me send you one or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So being able to do that, like, it's never been done before, and I'm happy to be able to present that and bring that to the state of Utah because let's go, you know?
I think that's a beautiful thing. I want to rewind just a little bit. Growing up, were you always a wrestling fan? Where did this love for wrestling come from?
Brother, so I was, just like you mentioned off air, I was a big 90s guy, WCW.
Okay.
The Monday Night Wars. I watched WCW, and Sting was always my dude. I'll never forget it. I was 4 years old, sitting in the living room, sitting next to my father, and I just watched the NWO come out and just kind of beat up the Giant, which is the Big Show.
Yeah, Big Show, yeah.
And I just hear everyone like, oh, he's done, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, you just hear the crowd erupt. In walks Sting, and they're like, what is he doing here? Eric Bischoff saying, what is he doing here? Get him out of here. He gets in the ring, and the NWO kind of clears house. This dude pulls a bat out, dropped the bat, said, come on, let's get this. Just took house the NWO. I thought that was the coolest thing, and the crowd erupted. I was like, man, that's freaking awesome. That's what I want to do.
Incredible.
And that's kind of cool, though. Like, it's like throughout my journey, I was able to meet my heroes. I mean, we just had Eric Bischoff out here.
I see that.
Diamond Dallas Page. You know, these legends that I grew up watching, like, they're my friends now.
That's incredible, and bro.
Like, that's one of the most humblest things to say. It's like, man, I was able to build that through my experience going to Georgia and building those connections, you know.
That's you are this might be a weird saying, but you are a historian. You have left your mark on, you're from Utah, right?
Correct, yep.
On your hometown.
Yep.
You've left your mark in history. Nobody can take that away from you.
Yeah.
Regardless on what happens with DCW, regardless on what happens with Manny Lemons, you have left your mark on Utah history, and that should be celebrated.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And it's true, though, because, like, you say that, and, like, my parents always have to remind me, look what you've done so far. I don't sit there. I don't celebrate the moment. I create the moment. I move on to the next. But if I look back at the end of the day, you're right. I did do a lot of cool things here to help elevate the game, not for myself, but for a lot of guys coming behind me.
Why do you think creators don't do, why don't we take a second and celebrate it?
I think we're just so lost in the end game. I think we want to get to where we're going, that we're so focused on that we don't take time to appreciate the moment. And that's a lot of things that I've been doing lately. Like, dude, I've traveled everywhere in this country. Like, I haven't gone overseas or anything because I'm a little scared still. But
yeah,
but I was like, man, people are like, have you been there? I was like, yeah, I have, but I've never really stopped and enjoyed it. I just went there, did what I was supposed to do, and then left. Like, every single big major city in this country, like New York, Atlanta, Tennessee, Nashville. You know what I mean? Like, I've never enjoyed the moment. And that's one of the things I'm going to do now in my next part of my life is enjoy the moment, live the moment, and then move on to the next.
You know, people want to live through you too, right? When I'm looking at your vlogs, I'm living through that experience with you.
Yeah.
When you're doing these seminars, I'm like, oh, it's cool to see the behind the scenes, because wrestling, historically, we never got that. Guys lived in their character, no matter what. And then something happened. I don't know if it was maybe late 2000s, whatever. That generation, they ended up showing us like the real side.
Yeah.
And maybe it was Dwayne. I don't know if it might have been Dwayne that, you know, it might have been him.
Yeah.
Because he went from The Rock to Dwayne. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so now seeing you do these vlogs, you're going to all these places. We want to see that.
Yeah.
We want to see the interaction that you have when you're just sitting down at the neighborhood bar and you're having a lunch with some of the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So keep that content coming.
No, I mean, you're right about that, though. It's like, I think that's why I started doing the vlogs, is because, like, before I was like, man, I do a lot of cool stuff, and I'm not really capturing the moment. Within the vlogs, I was like, okay, I'm here, I'm there, I met this person, I'm that person. I'll try to interview the name, you know, because they're friends. They're going to say, yeah, man, I'll be in your vlog, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, the vlogs and social media, it's given us the platform to be superstars ourselves. And that's one of the things that I think's changed with a lot. Like, you know, The Rock was the transcendent figure to that. But social media has changed the game because there's so much out there. There's, you know, like Facebook, it's in every single continent, you know?
Yeah.
Same with Instagram. So it's allowed us to have the stage and a platform to be superstars. But at the same time, like, people want to connect with real people. Mm-hmm. They want to see the struggle they go through, man. I don't think it. So I'm literally leaving this studio, going right to Colorado Springs to work AEW on Wednesday night. Wow. But like, a lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but that's the drive. It's like, well, are you going to sleep? We'll worry about that when we get there. I'm not worried about that. We're worried about getting to the next moment.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, absolutely. I think that that's the difference between the people that do have a name in whatever industry, whether if you're creating glasses, T-shirts, performing on cable television. The people that are doing it, they made those sacrifices.
Yeah.
They grinded it out for 5+ years, right? They don't see what sacrifices you took, all the difficult conversations that you've had to have with contracts and venues and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
And managing people. You're managing how many athletes at a time?
I mean, we got 15, 20 people in our school right now, so.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. Not only are you doing the school, but then you also have to put on a show too.
Yeah.
And you do multiple shows.
Yeah. You're right.
How hard is that? And then on top of that, we get pay-per-views too.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right though. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like I explain to my students, it's like, build your brand, build your product. People will invest in it. You want me to invest in you, invest in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, why would I believe in you? Why would I put you? Why should you be world champion? Why should you be the face of this company? And, we still have guys that are learning. I mean, it takes years and years to craft. I mean, like you said, going back to my earlier stage, I wrestled in Utah Wrestling from 2012 to 2020. And that's as big as it got. Okay, how do we evolve? How do we become bigger? Okay, I got to go out and get bigger. I got to go out and get better. I got to go out and bring it back home. And how do I do that? I have to leave this. And it comes with a sacrifice. I mean, I'm a father. I'm a full-time father now. I had full custody of my son since he's 5 years old. I raised him till he was 10, and the decision to leave him behind and go out and seek more. And he looked at me and said, "Dad, go get it." That was a big motivator, And that's, I think, to me, it's like the business has to come before everything. And a lot of people don't understand that. And you can understand that being in the field you're in. It's like it comes before the birthdays, the funerals, the holidays, the celebrations, the graduations. Like, this is first and foremost. Okay, I don't have nothing that day. Okay, then I can make it work, Like, during the week, I play dad, but I play dad today. Tomorrow, I play Manny Lemons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you have such a complex life, adding a kid into the mix, it can be so complex. What is your end goal? Is it to be on the biggest platform in the world with a name? Is it to become a certain championship or title holder? What is the ultimate goal?
So I think the end goal is to legitimately be one of the biggest stars of all time. Like, I feel like my purpose on this earth and everything I've had to go through and every failure and every obstacle, it led me to this moment here to become a star. I've wrestled for the biggest companies in the world. I've worked for everyone. I've worked with everybody. But to maintain that success is a separate scenario. And my goal now is to maintain that success. By the time I'm 35, I'm going to transcend the entire game. That's my mission. That's my statement. And I live by that, and I would die by that.
I love it. I believe it's going to happen.
100%.
Why? Because it's pouring out of you.
Yeah. And I don't mean that cockiness.
No, fuck that.
You know what I'm saying?
The people that say, he's cocky or, he's a narcissist, whatever that is, they don't want whatever they're going for enough.
That's true, man. There's so many haters that are like, I don't ever do it. It's like, well, that's funny because I'm doing it now. I may not be one of the biggest stars in the world, but, like my sister Googled me and she's like, damn. She's like, you're over like Rover. It's like, man, that's true. Like, at the beginning of the year, man, we made a statement where I was on Monday Night Raw and AEW in the same day.
What?
It was history. It's only been done a couple times, but like the fact that my face was on both products, that shit blew up. And like, I was trending on Twitter over something so silly, but you don't realize that. And I didn't really celebrate the moment, but that's what got me verified on Instagram. That thing ended up on Yahoo Sports. And, you look at these articles, and like, that's one of the humble things too, where I can send back to my family. It says like Manny Lemons made history. And I can go back and send that to them. Like, look, we're doing it. We ain't stopping now. We're going to get there. It may be a crawl, then it will turn into a walk, then it'll turn to a run, but we're going to get there.
For anybody that would hate on not just you, but anybody else's success, it says a lot about that person. When I look at it, I'm nowhere near affiliated with your field of work. But if I am an announcer, an athlete itself, whatever it is, I'm like, yo, we want this man to succeed. We want him to make it. Yep. Why? Because if we get a foot in the door, the foot's in the door. We know Al Snow.
Yep.
Diamond Dallas Page is here. He's doing yoga with us.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean?
It's true, man. Like, it's true.
That foot's in the door. Now we're going to put our knee in it.
Yep.
Once we get that knee in the door, we're going to put our elbow.
Yep.
And then he's going to push that thing open. And the people that are riding, the people that are putting in work, man, you got to look out for us.
Man, I'll never
help us.
I'll never forget. I don't mean to like cut you off in that scenario, but you brought up a good point. It's like, so back in February, we had the WWE talent scout Gabe Sapolsky out here at our school. He was here scouting talent. And when at the end of the day, when he watched the show, he watched the crowd, he watched the engagement, he watched how everything was, he, brought everyone in. We did the tryout, and he's all, Manny passes the airport test. What's the airport test? When I walk in an airport, someone looks at me and says, that dude's something special. And it's like based on, because, we got to look like a star, the way I present. That's why I show up in a suit here, because I wanted to be presentable, because I know this is going to be filmed for something down the line.
Yeah.
For the content. But then he just looked at, the way I wrestle and the way I engage with my audience, the way I engage with my fans. He's like, that's what we want in the WWE. And for him to say that, like, I was like, shit. But it's happening. You know what I mean? We're getting there. Like, I've worked for the WWE 15 times this year. People don't know that. I may not be on TV, but I was at WrestleMania this year. I was paid to be at WrestleMania. And that's humbling to say, because, like, I would buy a ticket to go to WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, but getting paid to be there, that's a different level, man.
I was telling my boy DJ Will Wonder, huge wrestling fan, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, did you see Manny Lemons' post? And you were literally in the spot where Snoop was riding out in that lowrider. Yep. And I was like, oh shit, look at my man's over here.
Yeah.
So when you get booked for these type of events, what are you doing?
So basically, we're brought in as an extra talent. I mean, obviously, WWE needs extra talent to fill certain spots for creative.
Yeah.
I mean, so like that, at the January, at the beginning of the year, we were security. So I'm like, okay, my face is still on TV. Mm-hmm. People still see that. My following's like, man, I seen Manny on Raw. It's the same thing that happened with in May, we were booked for the Cody Rhodes Brock Lesnar segment. I got to sit there and work with Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, and Triple H for that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
Like that's like, those are the guys. Like, Cody's was my coach for one, so he already knows me. And then Triple H is the dude running the damn ship. Like, I want my face in front of him as much as possible,
How'd you approach him? Did you say, hey, Hunter?
Nah, they don't really want you to do that, because, I mean, like, we have to present ourselves as nobodies, but not nobodies. You know what I mean? Just kind of blend in.
Absolutely.
Don't go out of your way. Okay, so I'll give you a story. So the best thing was, after having Bischoff and DDP out here, Eric Bischoff, I had no idea was at that show. So after our segment, I hear, I'm back. I'm like, this motherfucker's here. Didn't even tell me he's here. So I went backstage, and he's all, oh, hi, Manny. How you doing? And he, like, put me over in front of everybody backstage. And was like, gave me a big hug. And he's like, I'm following you, brother. Like, we have that relationship. And, like, that dude changed the game. He changed the industry that is today. And he knows me, and we text all the time, and we're friends, Same with DDP. People don't know that Dallas has actually put my father in his program, and my father's one of his proteges right now.
Really? Mm-hmm. Is he the man doing the headstands with no hands?
Nah, my dad's a little bit heavier setter guy, but he's pretty built,
Yeah.
But he's just doing his yoga. So like the DDP Jacked, I don't know if you've seen those on his website. So the company actually is here in Utah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So I didn't know that, but I knew that now because Dallas talked to my dad, when I'm sitting there and my dad's like, hey, Dallas is calling me. I was like, you son of a bitch. You know what I mean? But that was cool because I was able, through my journey and my experiences, I was able to give him that moment. He's got a WWE Hall of Famer calling him to check up on him and see how he's doing.
I felt a little way when Diamond was tag team partners with Karl Malone.
Bro.
I felt a little way.
Yeah.
Also, I had to ride with Rodman.
Yeah.
Ride with Rodman.
Dude, I tried so hard to get Malone at my 4-year anniversary.
Really?
Dude, if I could have got him, Karl Malone, DDP, and Eric Bischoff in the ring, dude, that would have made ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that thing would have been huge. I was shooting for it. Dallas was calling him. Bischoff was calling him. He just doesn't want anything to do anymore because, the whole whatever's going on in his personal life. Like, and I get that. But just imagine.
Oh, yeah.
If we could have done that, that would have put DCW on another level.
Well, I think it will introduce this generation to some history that they don't even know about.
Bro, for real.
You know what I mean? Like history. And even if you go back to like Utah has such a rich history with wrestling.
It does.
You know what I mean? From all the Samoans.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there is such a rich history here. And when you talk about watching WCW, Sting being your guy,
yep,
the man that put WCW on the map, Eric Bischoff, and now you're friends with the homie.
Yep.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, you're right. But see, I don't celebrate the moment because I'm so worried about the next. But you're right. Like, it is a cool moment. You know, it was even at WrestleMania, I seen Dallas Page backstage. He comes up, gives me a hug, him and his wife say, hey, Manny, how you doing? Glad to see you here. You're doing shit right. Keep it up, kid. Like, that was a moment for me. And he calls my dad and says, I seen Manny at WrestleMania. Tell him to keep the shit up. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool.
Do these old dude, that sounds bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Diamond. But these older dudes, the pioneers.
Yeah.
Pioneers in pro wrestling. They had it rough.
Oh, yeah.
You think about how much you're traveling. They're doing it without technology back in the day.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So the grind is still there. It feels like it hasn't changed in that sense.
Yeah.
But do these old timers, do they ever be like, man, you guys have it too easy now?
Oh, 100%. I mean, back in the day, you got to think, like you said, I listened to a lot of podcasts, especially when I'm on the road. I got a lot of time. So I listened to a lot of John Cena. He's talking, even like 2005, he's like, we got a McNally Atlas trying to find the venue. And it's like, yeah, think about it, it's true though. Because when I started traveling in 2015, my grandmother would pull out her atlas, say, go this route, go that route. I'm like, man, I used to do that too when I first started, so I get that. But I mean, like, I don't know. You can't pull up your phone. I'm lost. Where do I go? You got to go ask the gas station attendant, how do I get to this road? They'll say, hit this road. But if you miss that road, then where do you go? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
like, I understand that. The traveling must have been terrible.
When you were a kid, you mentioned sitting with your father. So was your father the introduction to wrestling?
Yeah, 100%. I got to give it to him because he's the one who had it on. Like, if it was never on, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today, you know? I mean, my grandfather, it goes to my uncle, their dad, my great-grandfather watched it. You know, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, you know, back in the day, Gorgeous George. Like, my grandmother brought that up. She's like, I know that, you know, I know those people. It's like, did you watch it back in the day? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But like, she was able to connect. I was like, I know those people. I don't know them personally, obviously,
yeah.
but I know of them because of the history of the business.
Do you, back in the day when you were going through like elementary, middle school, high school, were you ever training for, did you know like, yo, I'm going to train for this? Or was there a spark that was like, I'm actually going to get in the ring. I'm going to find a school to train at, or I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, it was kind of like, I'm going to do it at recess and
trampoline.
Yeah, my brother, we're going to make, we'd always, like, there's so many home videos of me and my brothers would always be doing the wrestling show. I'd be cutting the promo, staring at the camera and stuff like that.
Who were you mimicking?
I wanted to be back at that time. It's when Randy Orton first started. I wanted to be Randy Orton at the time. My in-ring name on that video was Vegeta Randy Jackson.
Ooh, that can go really bad.
Because I loved Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
I was a big Randy Orton fan, and I was a big Michael Jackson fan.
Wow.
So like I was like, oh, that was my name, you know. But I was like,
that's creative.
Yeah.
Just take your favorite things.
Yeah, that's all I did. But that's like how simple wrestling could be. It's like, what makes you? Those were the three things that made my name. It wouldn't last today, obviously, because of copywriting, but. Yeah, it was my name. And then, like, I never, like, everyone's like, man, did you ever do it in high school? I tried it. So in junior high, I tried to do grapple wrestling. It was 9th grade, and I went to Kearns, grew up in that area. So Kearns Junior High, I ended up beating the kid in my weight class just because he was like, oh, you never beat me, blah, blah. So I went and beat him, and the coach was like, you're coming to the field tonight. Coming to the meet tonight. I need you. Okay. And we were facing Kennedy. I don't know if you're familiar with the area, Kennedy Junior High.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that dude was like the #1 wrestler in the state at that weight class. He pins everybody in seconds. He didn't pin me that night. But I got so pissed that I lost that I never went back. And like the coach was always trying to recruit me. My dad was like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, it's not for me, you know, like, and that's a regret I have. Cause what if I did go pursue it? Like maybe I would be a better performer in the ring. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't know what would happen, but that's always a regret to come back to. But then I became pretty big with football. You know, I went to Kearns. I was an all-state wide receiver. And I was supposed to go play college football at Utah. I was recruited by Utah State, Washington State. I didn't go because I had a kid in high school. But that was the decision that I made, and I regret it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So after that, you know, like, you know, being a father, raising a family, you're kind of like 2012 rolls around. I'm 20 years old, or 19 years old. It's like, man, what am I going to do? So I Googled a wrestling school. UCW Zero, they used to be down the street. They're no longer, they kind of pop up in and out and do shows, but they're no longer running trainings and stuff like that. But that's where I was trained from. And I was probably there till 2016. And then 2016, I decided I wanted to go do my own thing. So I just started hitting the road and traveling. And that's just where I got my opportunities with Ring of Honor, Impact, WWE, all the big companies. It really, because I had to leave the home base to go out and get bigger. And then I came back, and in about 2018, my grandma's a big supporter of my wrestling career, so she really wanted to watch me perform. So I was like, man, I'm going to run one show just for the hell of it so my family could see me perform. I didn't realize how successful that show was going to be.
I want to stop just a second. When you're running a show, I mean, there's a lot to it. Well, first of all, where do you get a ring?
It's an investment. I was lucky. In 2018, I sold my house. So I had, what do I want to invest in? I want to invest in a wrestling ring so I can train and do my stuff in my house. Well, I have a ring. I'll run a show. You know what I mean?
So do you get a manufactured ring and you just put it together?
Pretty much. I mean, like, it's tough. You can find them online sometimes. People usually sell them, old promoters, when they're done with the business. But like High Spots, Monster Wrestling Ring, it's steel and wood. So you can really build it yourself if you really wanted to.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, it's plywood. You got metal frames, metal post, real rope. You have padding underneath, like the carpet padding, and then a ring canvas, and that's really a wrestling ring.
So where do you get the where do you set this ring up at? Where you throwing this first promotion for your family?
So the first one was at the Art Factory. It was like on 2100 South, about 300 West. Do you know where the Best Buy is over there?
Oh yeah.
It's just east of the train tracks, right there.
The church.
Yep. Right next. It's the same parking lot as the church.
Okay.
It's the building that's east of the church.
Gotcha.
So, but threw it there because I knew a lot of people. They used to run wrestling shows there all the time. So I just hit up the dude. I knew him from just being in the industry and being connected. He's all, yeah, we'll run it. We can do a show there. And then we ran the show and it was successful. You know what I mean? It's like, well, let's try to run another one. So we go to January and run a January show. It's even more successful. And you're like, well, the community needs this. And I could see a need. And I always live by the mindset, if you serve your community, then the success will come. Mm-hmm. So after that show, we had probably almost 400 or 500 people at that second show.
Holy smokes.
And that's when we brought in Sefa Fatu. He's Siko he's part of the Bloodline.
Yeah.
He's my first ever world champion.
Really?
Yep. People don't know that. But wow. We brought him into that show. He was still young. He was still training, and UT lived in Vegas, so it was easier to bring him in. Me and him tagged on that show, and the crowd just went absolutely crazy. And they were fully invested into the performance. And they're like, after that show, I had probably like 10 people come up to me. And they're like, hey, are you training? What's going on? And I'm like, I never imagined running a wrestling school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Rekka, I got to give her credit at this time. She looked at me and said, if you're going to do this, you're going to train me. So that was kind of like, okay, let's do it. Let's create a school. Let's create a promotion. Let's run with this and see where we can go. 5 years later, here we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a good story,
That's incredible, man.
But I think that there's not really a magic formula to how I did it. I just did what I knew at the time, and I was the best guy to do it at the time. Now, I must say I'm the best because of the experience that I was able to create. But at that time, I had worked for Impact, I worked for Ring of Honor, so people believed in me. They trusted me. People today, they still believe and trust in me, so I got to carry that to the next generation.
Do you think, obviously, Manny Lemons is number one priority, right? We're trying to get you to the be stardom, the household name,
Yes, sir.
Right? I want to turn on Friday night, Monday night, and I see your face.
Yep.
And I root for my mans.
Yep.
I mean, we want the posters.
Yep.
Some of them in the 90s was crazy.
Yep.
But we want that.
Yep.
Do you think that at some point Manny Lemons hands off DCW so we can have the running start or run as much as it can? Because I see, 500 people.
Yeah.
Within a year, I know you can times that by 2.
Yep.
Within 2 years, I know you can times that by 3.
Yep.
There's enough wrestling fans, especially right now. Professional wrestling is at the height. It's at the best I've seen it in a while, which is why I fell back in love with it.
Yeah.
I fell out of love for a while.
Yeah.
And right now's the time. I could see you throwing an event at the Maverick Center. Why not?
Yeah.
It can happen.
Why not?
Do you hand it off so it can get there?
At the end of the day, for sure. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. I've had so many these big companies and big money buyers want to come buy DCW. The problem is it's not. DCW is successful because of my brand. That makes sense. And I don't say that in a cocky way.
Yeah.
But I do business the way I do business because I've learned to do business that way. You can't just so Grunt Style wanted to get involved financially with DCW. They didn't want me to be a wrestler anymore. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to. I'm a wrestler first and foremost. Why would I quit to do that? I know where my end game is. I've had multiple people throw money like, hey, I want to buy DCW. It's like, well, what's your vision and what's your plan with it? Oh, you don't have a vision or a plan? well, my plan's take it to the top. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm not just going to pass it off to anybody. But sure, if Vince McMahon wanted to come buy my company, heck yes, absolutely.
Or maybe it's not even selling, but maybe a day-to-day manager that can book this thing out to where we have consistent, like, multiple nights, whatever. Yeah. Like, it's a bigger thing. I just feel like DCW, and I've ran into this thing myself, right? Where you put yourself first. You are the brand. We're trying to get you to stardom, right?
Yep.
It's hard to worry about that and then worry about 12 to 15 other guys and gals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I just think that if you had help in going full force with DCW without you going full force, it could be so much bigger than where it's at right now.
Yeah, and I agree to that. I mean, that's one of the reasons, like, I haven't been champion for my own company for that particular reason, because I have stepped back in that aspect. So, like, my dad helps. You know, I've kind of given the reins to my dad. I got a good trainer, Andrew Sowell. He kind of takes the reins as the locker room leader. So we do have a good support system in place for that. But I see what you're saying, because there is still some of me that's like, oh, I got to pay attention to this a little bit, because if I don't, then it's going to slack. It's going to, you know what I mean?
Storyline.
Yep.
Right? A lot of what we love about professional wrestling is the storyline.
Yep.
How do you keep a good storyline going? You got to be consistent on it. You have to have writers. You got to have a creative talent, social media. You got to have editors. You got to have people that's creative and comes up with these things quarterly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leading up to the top, giving people a time off.
Yep.
The same way the big guys do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on a level that makes sense for our community.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. I mean, and it maybe, like, that's the thing too. It's so hard to get people into the system. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough to take someone who doesn't know anything about an industry and say, here's the book, because you don't know what the hell you're doing. You know what I'm saying? How many people come to you and say, I could help elevate your podcast? You know, maybe they haven't, but like, if I had $1 for someone telling me, oh, I have so many great storylines, I have so many this and that, okay, come take a bump. You can't take a bump. Why would I hand you anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you have to know all aspects of the business. You can't just have this.
Yeah.
So, like, back in 2020, I had Vince Russo as my head booker.
Really?
I did. But
wow.
But it was the pandemic hit. We just couldn't financially afford them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I bring seminars and I bring names in to do seminars, because I want to learn from them. I want my guys to learn from them. I want to elevate this whole thing so it can become bigger. But you do make a valid point with that. I think if the right situation presented itself, by all means, you know what I mean? 100%.
Is there anybody right now in Utah, maybe not even wrestling for DCW, but I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Other than Manny Lemons, who do we need to look out for?
It's tough, man, because, you know,
be subjective.
I know, and like I have to be very subjective in this, because Utah wrestling, did you know anything about Utah wrestling until you met me?
Absolutely not.
That's my point. So to be able to point out these other guys who are in the community, because there are other wrestling companies, but people don't know about them. And it's like, how could you be a superstar or be a big name in this industry if no one knows what you are? That means they're not buying what you're selling.
Yeah.
So it's tough to pick from a lot of the guys. Like, one of my world champion right now, Brett Buffshay, I think he's the guy who is going to help elevate it. He's the next in line for sure. Rekka, she was definitely there, you know, like, I'll give her credit in the world. As much as whatever our personal past is, as a performer, she has it. She has every avenue to be a major star. It's up to her to get there and do it.
That's what I was thinking, man. Like, you, other than outside of you, like, she can really go.
Yeah, 100%.
Great athlete. The character is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't wait. It's gonna happen sooner or later. You're gonna make it, and then we're gonna have that pride. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And did you growing up? Was it like not cool to be a wrestling fan?
Oh, of course not. Everyone always dogged on you if you wore the Steve Austin shirt or the NWO shirt.
Austin 316 was the thing, man.
Bro, it was like, and that's the thing. It's like, when Austin returned at WrestleMania 38, like, that was one of the biggest reactions that anyone's ever seen, because he's still a major star, because everyone remembers what he did for the industry.
Yeah.
Like, even Hogan, like, he doesn't wrestle anymore, but anytime he comes out, biggest pop. John Cena came back as the biggest pop, because they're memorable characters that connected with the audience and portrayed themselves to be bigger than larger than life. The Rock's the GOAT, 100%. I'd put him at the top of the industry, because he took what Hogan and Austin did and he elevated it to another level. He brought the industry, like, everyone knows who The Rock is. and they know he's related to wrestling.
Yeah.
And he did that on his own.
He is incredible. Anytime I get the question, who's your man crush?
Yeah.
I'll suck the Rock's dick tomorrow.
For real, though. But look at him. He looks like a Greek god. He looks the part. He's a superstar. And that's what a lot of people in wrestling misplace. It's like, no, you still have to train like an athlete. Rock's, have you seen the Rock's training regime? You know what I mean? Like he's 2-3 times a day training, working out. On
the flip side, there were some guys that weren't, that are, in my heart, were the greatest. Mick Foley's one of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Mick Foley did not look the part at all the whole time. But that was my guy.
But he made you believe in everything he was doing. Mm-hmm. He made you invested into his work of art. But it took him a lot longer. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he tried some things, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, they didn't really stick until the end of his career.
Yeah.
Once we stopped getting Dude Love, you love Dude Love.
Yeah.
Right? Once we stopped getting Cactus Jack, you love Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And once we got Mankind, that's what stuck. And that's what we remember Mick Foley for.
Yeah. And I remember because I'm really good friends with Vince Russo, and he was telling me he's like, bro, we pitched it to him so many times, and bro, he just didn't want to do it. He just didn't want to do it. And he did it and made him. You know what I mean?
Does Manny Lemons switch up Manny Lemons?
See, that was the thing too, and I always retracted that. Like so many people, like when I first, so how Manny Lemons became a thing, okay?
Manny Smith
became later on. So when I first started, my first wrestling ring was Manny Fresh.
Manny Fresh. I was going to ask you, brother, where did that come from? Did that come from the legendary producer that we know?
No, bro. So like Manny Fresh started because like growing up, my brothers would always call me Manny Fresh because my nickname was Manny growing up. Because my real name's Mantin. So like Manny's just easier to say. So like my friends and family would always call me Manny, but he'd always say Manny Fresh because of the rapper Manny Fresh. Yeah. So I used that as my first wrestling personnel. So when I went to my first tryout at Ring of Honor, I went as Manny Fresh, obviously. And they didn't remember my last name, but they remembered my first name was Manny, and I wore a bright ass yellow shirt. So the entire time I had, I don't know if you know who Kevin Kelly is, but Kevin Kelly was the guy who was always interviewing The Rock back in the day. And he's the one who kept calling me Manny Lemons. And one of the trainers there, Brutal Bob Evans, was kept calling me Manny Lemons. And they couldn't remember my last name. And then after the tryout happened, they're just like, why don't you run with something like that? And that, I'm like, who the hell wants to be called someone Manny Lemons? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the first show I ever did it, I got a reaction out of people because people were invested in it. They're like, oh, Manny Lemons, I get that. He bites the lemon heads, he gets his power, and bites the sour, gets the power, and beats the opponent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it worked. So the character kind of evolved, and that's when I became the man, the brand, the king of lemonade stand. Zest of the best, you know the rest, baby. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it just like it's me now. Like that's who I am. Manny Smith and Manny Lemons are the same person. Like that's who I am. Anytime someone's, what's your name? Manny Lemons. I don't even say Manny Smith anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like because that's who I am. I'm Manny Lemons. And then the funny thing when you brought up Manny Smith, that was a character when I went to AEW when I trained the Nightmare Factory. They thought Manny Lemons was really like, well, he's kind of gimmicky. He's not going to really get over. So if you want to do something, you got to try something else. Okay, you're the booker. I'm going to listen to what the booker says. I'm going to be my real name, use my real name. It didn't work, but it was my first match there. And I was just generic wrestler 101. Manny Lemons. The next week it happened. Impact called me. D'Lo Brown called me.
Really?
He called me, say, bro.
Did you feel his neck going like this the whole time?
Yeah, me and D'Lo are pretty good friends. We're pretty close. But
don't beat me up.
He's from Vegas, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's going to come out here soon. That's kayfabe that. But he called me, and I went to Impact as Manny Smith. And he's all, the fuck is this? I don't want Manny Lemons. I brought you to Impact as Manny Lemons. So he gives me shit every time because I wrestled as Manny Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, the next time I went back to Impact, they brought me as Manny Lemons, and I ended up getting a job. I mean, I worked for Impact for almost a year,
Yeah.
And then it just, the storyline ended. They had nothing else for me, so it's okay. Move on to the next adventure. But that goes back to the thing is, like, I've failed more times than people realize. So many times I've failed. I failed in AEW. I failed in WWE. I failed in Impact. Well, I'm still here. We're not done yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If my story was supposed to be done, that was the end of it. My story's not to sit here and elevate Utah wrestling. My story's here to transcend the game on the entire level, to become a huge star. We're going to get there. We're not done yet. That makes sense.
Absolutely. And I know that you're going to get there, man. I believe it. I see it, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
Like, your finishing move, it's the lemon drop, right?
Lemon drop, yep.
In Ring of Honor, when you dropped that lemon drop,
yep,
you took the bite of the lemon. You gave him 2 cross hammers. Boom,
yep,
boom, boom. And then you hit it.
Yep.
I don't know if that was the cleanest lemon drop I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it was so clean that we need to see it on Monday and Friday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But bro, that's the thing though, is like I've never really like. It's even like I'll bring it back to another story, but like that night, like the crowd was so into it. The crowd was so into who I was, and they like when I won, they popped like no other. And that's when I almost got my job with Ring of Honor. But at the same time, management changed literally like the next week. So the people who were talking to me, it's like that's the game nature of the game. It's like, well, it's all about who knows you. You know what I mean? So it's really just getting over with the right people. You know, I did a show in Denver on Thursday at Rocky Mountain Pro. I was a bad guy. I haven't been a good guy in Rocky Mountain Pro since 2017. But the crowd and the energy, I didn't have to say a fucking word. And excuse my language when I say that. Good. But I stood in the ring and there was a guy, we want lemons. And half the crowd was like, no, we don't.
Wow.
I didn't say a word, but I felt that energy and I felt that passion. And these people believed in it. And I got a reaction of both ways. You know what I mean?
Isn't that... I'm sitting here following every promotion that you're fighting in or wrestling in. And I would be super confused on what to go at, because you got one promoter saying, hey, do this. You got another promoter saying, hey, perform this way. You got one saying, hey, you're the heel. You got the audience saying, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy to me. And you see other people, right? The Rock was supposed to be the heel.
Yep.
We said no.
Yep.
You're the people's champion. You're our guy.
Yep.
So take me through that. How do you navigate what the industry's trying to tell you versus what the people is trying to tell you that we want?
You really just have to kind of no-sell it sometimes. It's up to the booker. If the booker wants you to be a heel, you just got to be a heel. But then if they're a smart booker and they realize what the audience wants, they transition you to be a babyface and give the audience what they want through a creative storyline. And then whatever that may be, I don't know. That's not my job at that particular promotion. So whatever you want, I'm going to go out there and do. That's why I kind of like no-sold it when it happened. But like, dude, I had a smile on my face because it was an awesome reaction. Like I was like, man, I have something here. I just need to run with it, and I just need to portray it and keep going with it, you know?
Do you change up the trunks anytime?
Oh, yeah.
When are we going to get some pants, or what's the next outfit?
I don't know, because it's like I want to go pants look, but then like they're like, no, keep the trunks. Like people tell me all the time, keep the trunk look. It's like, I hate doing the trunks. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't want to show off so much. I'm very insecure with my body. You know what I mean? Like, and it's because I was always like when I started as a big fat guy.
Yeah.
You know, like now I'm in a lot better shape, but you know, like I'm still have that mental block where it's like, no, you know what I mean? Like
you look at 5 years ago, when you're looking at certain promotions that you wrestled in, you do see the difference in your body.
Yeah.
And you've come a long way. So you should be excited about that. Be happy about that. But I get it. We all have insecurities, and maybe you're not where you want your body yet. But I don't know, man. I just think that that's one thing in professional wrestling. Sting, his makeup, the scorpion on the side, that black and white. You fell in love with that.
Yep.
Manny Lemons, that yellow pops. D-Lo, or who was it told you? The yellow, when they started to give you the name Manny Lemons. I forget.
Kevin Kelly.
Boom.
Yep.
That yellow, right? I'm disappointed you didn't show up with a yellow blazer.
I know, dude. I should have. But I usually try to, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I show up in a suit, because it's like I want to present myself as a star. This is a star-worthy interview. We're going to look the part. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's so many times that I see people dressed in like, and I get the concept. It's like, well, we're carnies. It's like, you could be a carny. I'm a superstar. You know what I mean?
Boom.
That's the reality of it.
That's the difference between, again, the guys that are on Monday and Friday, and the guys that aren't.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And I love your in your story. I love the fight to keep fighting for what you know you're gonna end up at. You know the end story.
Yeah.
You just got to get there.
That's true, man. I mean, it's the concept. We didn't come this far just to come this far. We didn't go through everything. Like, brother, if you knew the mental blocks that I had to go through to get to where I am today, it's like no normal person isn't going to survive that.
I mean, you were married to an athlete that you had to manage to and help and whatnot. So I'm thinking the mental health portion of this thing. When you're hearing no's, you're hearing other things on the internet, you're hearing all these gossip stuff.
Yeah.
How do you fight through that? How do you get your mental health in a place where you can just tread through?
It was tough, man, because it's like you said, it's like we're in a position where we're both pursuing the same gig, but at the same sense, we're not. She is a female in this industry and I'm a male. But then I think that was ultimately the end be end all of our relationship is we both just had such a professional jealousy over each other that we both thought we were fighting each other versus working together. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's really just what killed our marriage, honestly. And, you know, like I can say that now because like at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, I wish nothing but the best for her. I love her, you know, she was the love of my life, but I need to worry about me now. I need to worry about where I'm going next. And that's in the mindset, you know, I mean, she left me, you know what I mean? Like that's the reality of it, but I'm still here. Yeah. I'm still going. We're not stopping. I was a wrestler before her. I'm going to be a superstar after her, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So how do you find that mental health, even aside from your relationship, the no's, the doubters, the everything that you have to, all the hurdles?
You just have to build it up mentally. Gotcha. If it's your passion, you won't let anything kill your passion.
Amen.
If it's your dream and you really say you want it, you're gonna have to understand there's going to be a lot of heartbreaks. There's going to be a lot of no's. You're just going to have to do it. Then you just pursue it. You just think, okay, no means not right now. Everything in the business is at this moment. That doesn't mean in 6 months it's going to be a different scenario. But then that you have to humble yourself and say, okay, they don't want me now. I'm going to show them why they should have said yes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's just kind of the mindset you have to go, okay, well, I got fired from Impact. Well, I'm going to show you I should be the star of Impact. Here we go.
I live by that motto of make them see you.
Yeah.
It's okay if you're not getting certain offers, make them see you.
Yeah.
Make them give you an offer. It's 2023. We live in a digital age.
Yeah.
You can go and the cool thing is that you have your own promotion. You could record in 4K your own match that can go viral, and then they have to come to you.
Yeah, I mean you hit it right there, brother. Like I post an abundance on social media. Why? Because I know everyone's watching. Everybody follows me in the industry, and I don't care. Oh, you don't like it? Who gives a shit? I know you're seeing it. Yeah. I know you see I'm doing stuff and it's not the same content. I don't post content from a week ago. I post what we're doing 2 days ago, then we move on to the next moment.
Yeah.
Like right now, this is content. This is stuff we're doing. This is stuff to build my brand. This is stuff to build your brand. We're going to elevate it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And people are going to see it, and they may have a professional jealousy towards it, but no, it's like, that's your opinion. I was backstage at a Georgia show, and people were, Jimmy Wang Yang used to be a producer for WWE. And I don't know if you remember him. He was the cowboy gimmick in 2005, I want to say.
Mm-mm. But I was out at that time.
Was it? Yeah. It's like, see, that's when I started to get back in. So that's who I knew who he was. And he comes up to me. He's like, hey, I seen you doing this. I'm seeing you doing that. I was like, got it. Exactly. It's what I want. Doesn't like any of my posts, which I don't care. We're good friends, you know, but he sees what I'm doing and he's willingness to help me because he sees I'm out there grinding and he sees I'm out there hustling, you know.
I would want that in my company.
100%.
If I'm Vince McMahon or if I'm any of the producers or anybody tied in with the show, I want guys out there that are going to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want guys out there that just twiddling their thumbs. I want grinders.
It's true, man. It's so weird, though, because it's like you see so many people that like get into business and get in the industry, and they're just like, this is my dream, this is my passion. But it's like, well, your favorite wrestler is not doing what you're doing. Why aren't you kind of mimicking what he does? Look at his social media. You know, everyone's social media is blazing because that's the power of the entertainment. What were they saying? They're saying the Bloodline had 40 million views on a video last week.
I just seen Rikishi post that.
Yeah, 40 million views. That means 40 million people are watching wrestling.
Dog, I just told this on my last podcast. Rhea Ripley. Did you see her stat?
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley has more followers than I think it was the Serena Williams.
Yep.
All of MLB.
Yeah.
Like her stats are crazy. And to see her come from somewhere, I think she came from NXT, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
She came from the development league of NXT. And now she's a world champion.
Yeah.
Putting on great. That Charlotte Flair match, you seen it live.
Yeah, brother.
Dog, I lost my mind.
Yeah.
It's Rhea Ripley, Bianca, Asuka, like Can we take a second and appreciate the women in wrestling right now?
Oh, 100%.
Right now, and I'm a product of the 80s, grew up in the 90s. It was divas. It wasn't where it is today, right? Yep. We had Chyna. We had, Sable. We had Jacqueline. Jacqueline was the first titty I seen. No disrespect, Jacqueline. I was at a house show in Portland.
Yeah.
She had a malfunction.
Yeah.
It popped out.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, Jacqueline. Looking at where women are in 2023, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte. There's a new tag. Do you see the new tag team that just came on NXT?
Yeah.
They performed on Friday.
On Friday, yeah.
Or no, they performed last night, Monday.
I
forget their name. I forget their name, but they're dope. They came from NXT.
Yeah.
The party, I think is their
yeah.
thing.
No, I know who you're talking about. They changed their name, I think, from NXT. I can't remember off the top of my head, dude.
But those chicks, right? There's so many. Asuka, incredible.
Yeah.
Right. The women in pro wrestling right now, honestly, some of them better than the guys.
Bro, 100%.
You know what I mean? And I think right now, and I was having this conversation with one of my boys, right now is the time to get into pro wrestling.
It is.
If you had a love, whether if it was in the late 90s, 80s, early 2000s, now's the time to get back into it because we got athletes like you that are really transcending in our community what it means to be a pro wrestler in Utah. But I mean, even aside from being in Utah, your journey alone is one where you can actually follow somebody that's making it to that throne.
Yeah. And I think that's what I hope. I hope that at least my my legacy is to leave an impact on the community where their roads aren't as hard as it was for me. Because dude, my road was hard. I'm a white male in 2023. I'm average height. You know what I mean? Like my journey is a lot different than a female. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about the females of wrestling, Jade Cargill on AEW, we pretty much, like, I was there from when she started. We helped train her and develop her, and now she's the biggest women's star in the company. You know what I mean?
She's incredible.
She looks like $1 million.
And she could work the mic, too.
100%. And it was like, you know, like we were part of Shaq's and her reality show. You know what I mean? You see us in the background and stuff. So it's like, it was cool. Like, it's the experiences that I had, 100%.
Now, I got a little bit happy. I got a little bit jealous that you actually had the match with one half of my favorite tag team ever.
I already know who you're saying.
The Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
How was that experience? AEW, you wrestled against a legend, one half of a legendary tag team in Matt Hardy. How was that?
It was humbling, man. I mean, like I've known Hardy since 2015. So like he was very easy to work with. He's at a stage now where he just wants to give back to the business. So he wants the younger guys to get over. So the whole match was him taking the heat and getting his younger partner over. But like just being in the ring with a star that way, you know, of that caliber, like when I posted on social media, my high school friends don't watch wrestling, but they knew Matt Hardy. They knew the Hardy Boys. They're like, man, that's so freaking awesome. That's freaking cool. It's like, yeah, brother, I was in the ring with the Hardy. You know what I mean? So it was cool. But again, I didn't stop and appreciate the moment at that time. But thinking back, that was badass, brother.
I don't know if they were inducted to the Hall of Fame, weren't they?
No, not yet. I think they're in the Impact Hall of Fame. I'd have to go back and look.
I think it might have been Impact.
Yeah, I've been hitting the head so much that sometimes like I'm aware of everything that goes on, but then sometimes I have to say, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that is going on. You know what I mean?
Who were some tag teams that you appreciated growing up?
Oh, I was Hall and Nash, brother. The Too Sweet. So like,
rest in peace.
Yeah. So Gallows and Anderson, the OC, AJ Styles, those are two of my best friends. Like I hung out with them all the time. You know what I mean? And we've really created kind of a brother bond where we text each other almost every day. They kind of gifted me, you know, growing up being Hall and Nash, like doing the Too Sweet. They said, bro, you're an honorary good brother. So now I do Too Sweet all the time because they've gifted that to me.
Wow.
And that's like one of the most humblest things in the world because I grew up doing this.
Yeah.
Now I've been gifted because Hall and Nash passed it to them. They gave it to me. So now Too freaking sweet, baby. You know what I mean?
I can't wait until I meet Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah.
So I can get an honorary suck it.
Yeah.
So I can just be like, yeah, this is real. It's authentic.
Yeah. Bro, I need to find my old high school. I got my high school coach looking for it because it's going to be in my documentary. When I was playing Cypress, I caught 2 touchdowns, brother, and I just did the whole suck it to the crowd.
What?
Yeah, and it was before like cell phone, iPhones and stuff. So like I don't really have, the only footage I have is the highlight film. So he's supposed to get it to me, but that thing, like, oh, bro.
My boy, Will Wonder, DJ Will Wonder, I was telling you about, he went to Cypress. So hopefully it was against his class.
What grade? When did he graduate?
I think he graduated 03.
03. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this was 2010.
Oh, okay. Damn, you're young as hell.
I know. I look old. But that's the thing. It's like,
He said I look old.
I know. That's why I got to, you know, present myself to be a little bit younger. You know?
Yeah.
Like, look the part.
Man, well, I mean, 35, man, you got time, man.
Yeah.
You got time.
That's why I'm entering my prime with it too. You know, that's why I'm saying like now I'm really just going to appreciate the moment and the time I have, because what I'm doing, I'm having fun at wrestling right now. Like Grand Junction was fun. Before that, the week where we were up in Ogden, those are fun. If I get signed to WWE, I can't do those anymore. So I want to live in the moment now, have fun with my community now, because there's going to come a time where I'm not going to be able to do that anymore.
How do you not? How do you keep that fun? It's tiring. I mean, you're driving out to different states every day, setting up your merch booth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talking to people. It's tiring.
Yeah.
So how do you keep that love? How do you keep that fun?
I don't know, man. I've just never lost it. Like, even through everything that happened, I've always thought about just where I want to be. So I never really got distracted with like, oh, you're this, you're that. It's like, no, this was always my dream. This was always my passion. Yeah, I don't always want to do it. So you kind of got to force yourself to go out there and sell your merch because that's where you make your money. Now it's my livelihood. I don't do anything else. So if I don't go sell my merch, I don't make money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't go out and greet the fans, I don't make money. It's like sales. The more you do it, the more people invest in you and the more money you can make. And it's the more gigs you get. Like, I'm literally doing a cross-country tour this weekend. As I leave here, we're doing a cross-country tour. Going to Colorado Springs, going to Denver, going to Atlanta. Then we're in Monday Night Raw in Wichita, Kansas, and back home.
Wow.
So, like, but it's the grind. That's what you have to do if you want to be a success. Or you could sit here and wait and hope it's going to come, and it's never going to come.
Go get it.
Go get it. That was the biggest thing, too. When we sat with William Regal backstage, he says, you all are in the system. Go out and make some noise. Now it's time to make some noise. That's what we're doing now.
What's your thoughts on this whole plan to be able to bet on wrestling? Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
The problem is you're going to have certain people who are going to know. You know what I mean? Unless they keep creative very secretive. I mean, at the end of the day, it's people's money. If they want to bet on something, that's on them. If they want to,
true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, go bet. I think it's great. If it makes more money and brings more publicity to our industry, by all means. Anything that helps elevate us, for sure. Because when you go to a sports book now, you're going to see soccer, football, WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's more eyes on the product.
What's a match that you haven't done yet that you want to do?
Man. You know, people ask me that, like, what is your dream match? My dream match would be Cena. I really would want to wrestle Cena. Just because he's a dude who, like, he was on top for 15 years. 15 years, and people respect him now, but back then they didn't respect the time with him. Now he's kind of fizzled away. And you don't realize that because you have guys like Roman who helped picked up the baton and carried the company. But, like, he's a guy who was in my childhood, and now he's in my adulthood, and my son watched him too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, to be able to, like, do a match with him, that'd be freaking awesome. That's a dream match.
But what type of match?
Oh, type of match. I probably wrestled every match you could think of.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the hardcore matches, they were fun, but they take a lot of wear and tear on your body.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing we do in the ring is fake. It's like the bumps, the falls, like, those are real. We're really falling, really punching each other.
Even going against the ropes.
Yeah. Your body just builds calyx, and they build muscle memory. You know what I mean? Like, not muscle memory, but I guess calyx, would be the word.
Yeah.
But, like, where your body's just more used to it. There's so many times that someone comes to a wrestling center and they take a bump and they limping for 3 weeks. It's like, yeah, there's nothing fake of what we do. You either want to do this or you don't. That's what we do.
When I was talking to my boy Sebastian about this, because at one point I wanted to jump into the ring.
Yeah.
The square circle. Yeah. I wanted to. And it all came from Tough Enough. Yeah. Season 1 with Maven. A lot of people don't realize WrestleMania 2022, Maven was never eliminated.
Yeah.
You go back and watch that match.
Yeah.
He wasn't thrown over the ropes.
Nope.
When he got into it with Undertaker,
yeah,
I think it was Taker up in the concessions.
Yeah.
He was never eliminated.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
But that was the reason I watched Tough Enough when he won that season. I was like, I want to do it.
Yeah.
And they were showing you like how to take a bump, right? Shoulders and whatnot. And then I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's too much. Like, these guys, they're built for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you build yourself up to be this type of athlete. Guys like Jeff, that tables, ladders, and chairs match, iconic.
Yeah.
And you had, what's that, 2, 4, 6 of the greatest athletes to ever do it.
Yeah.
Right there. In all different shades and forms.
Yeah.
The Dudley Boys weren't the biggest and athletic guys, right?
Nope.
The Hardy Boys, they're more of little guys.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian, mid.
Yeah.
Right? And to see them have that incredible match, Jeff doing crazy, the craziest things we've seen.
Yeah.
I sit back and I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. That don't look like, it looks fun, but nah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right though, man. It's like, it's weird because it's like people, again, they watch it. No, it's that fake. Like, you still get it today. It's like, Star Wars is fake, right? You know, Games of Thrones is fake, right? Oh, you just don't get what we do. Okay, we're entertainment, just like the rest of those things, If I mean, if you watch Star Wars, is the biggest analogy. It's like New Hope. You're in a wrestling match. It's creating a hope for the good guy to get back on top. Empire Strikes Back is the hill cutoff.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi is the comeback finish for the big baby face. Hoo-ah, hoo-ah. You know what I mean?
Whenever I heard that word, it's fake. Yeah, I think us wrestling fans got upset about it.
Yeah.
Not because it was them saying it was fake. It was them not appreciating the art that was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or that is. This is the industry that you're in, the talent that you have, it's an art. And every time we get the opportunity to see this art, we should appreciate it.
Yeah.
You got to take it in. And I hope that DCW continues to give us that art that our community deserves.
We will. We got some good things planned. September's going to be big, and December, it's my 5-year. We're going all out. We're going to make it huge. So I hope to see you there, brother.
I'll be there.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be there. My son. So here's the cool thing about my son. My son's 9 years old. He'll be 10 in August.
Yeah.
And it took me just randomly on like a rainy Sunday out to watch old matches, Hell in a Cell, Taker, Mankind.
Yeah.
And my son slowly, he's playing with his cars or whatever. Slowly, he was maybe about 8. Slowly, he's looking at the TV and he's like, "Yo, Dad, who's that guy with the mask?"
Yeah.
And I'm Mankind for Halloween. So he's like, "You were that guy for Halloween."
Yeah.
Slowly, he's looking at, "Oh, who's this guy with the red mask? And why is he fighting the dude that's coming from the urn?" And I mean, like, who's this guy? You know, I'm teaching him about Kane, you know, all these guys. And then slowly, we look at Cena making a return, right? Trish Stratus, Lita, the legends that I grew up with are back. You know what I mean? I'm teaching them about the bloodline and how the bloodline's all connected to guys that I was looking at back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I tell my son, I was like, watch, give it a few weeks. We're going to see Rikishi. He's going to set some things right in this bloodline thing.
100%.
We're going to see this thing happen. Watch.
It's him or The Rock. It's got to be one of them.
Well, we thought Rock was coming to WrestleMania.
True.
We thought that was happening. But to see, oh my, I'm jumping all over the place. I'm getting chills. I love wrestling. We're at an hour. I can talk to you forever about this stuff.
You're good, brother.
But that moment in Saudi Arabia was Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is the best, in my opinion, one of the best things that WWE has going on right now. And that storyline is incredible. We seen it happen in Canada when he was in Canada.
Yep.
We seen it at the last pay-per-view, right?
Yep.
The pop that man gets in Saudi Arabia, where he ain't supposed to get that pop.
Yeah.
He ain't supposed to wrestle there.
No.
He ain't supposed to be there.
Yep.
And then to take out Roman Reigns and Solo the way they did, when he was standing on top of the turnbuckle and Roman's down there and he's up here.
Yeah.
Dog, it brought chills to me. I'm no bitch, but I cried a little bit.
But it made you invested into the performance.
It's the art.
It's the art of what we do.
Exactly. And so for anybody out there, I know this is for some of my listeners, they're like, you're a wrestling nerd or whatever. This is a beautiful time in professional wrestling, and I wish that you would appreciate it or even just take a look at it, because one day soon, we're going to see the man across from me doing the same exact things with those same people.
Yes, sir. It's coming.
And I can't wait, because I'm going to repost the episode.
By all means, man. But that's what it is. I mean, it's here and now. You get this time with me here and now. Like in 2 years' time, we're going to have a different conversation.
Yeah.
And we'll be sitting at this table having a different conversation about, remember when we talked about this? Remember when we made it happen?
Hopefully, it's going to be a bigger table.
Yeah.
Not in North Salt Lake.
Of course. Bigger studio. 100%.
More guys just to take my money.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't even know. Yo, what do you do?
What do you do? Oh, here's your payday. Your payday, kid.
But it's on that way. Manny Lemons, I want to jump into questions.
Hey, yo, you're probably listening to the Unrestricted podcast with DreRawka.
We are?
No, they are.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the real Ruby. You can catch me and Fonzie and the
Funk.
G Daddy Funk on Lake Talk 801 podcast.
Yeah, but I think you have to come in more smoother, more funnier. Like, yeah, they could catch us on the Lake Talk 801 podcast.
Yeah, y'all can catch us on the Lake Talk 801.
Yeah, and we'll be like, and yeah, man, hey. And they could catch people like me, the real Ruby, and people like you, Fonzie, and people like him, G Daddy Funk,
Wow,
on
that's
the
a
Lake
lot of
Talk
people.
801. Who cares?
What did he say?
Huh?
I didn't hear him.
I don't know, but this probably should be the ad.
Are these on?
Catch a new episode every Monday on all streaming platforms. The Lake Talk 801. Tune in now.
Man, you know what sounds really good? Just some chips and salsa.
You want the best salsa ever? Get yourself some Sauce Up Salsa at sauceupsalsa.com. Fresh fire roasted salsa, fresh ingredients, fresh produce made just for you.
So I asked the social medias. I asked Instagram. I had some questions. And questions is powered by the good folks over at Fierce Fighting Championship number 26 at the Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls, Saturday, June 24th. Kent Mafaleo is defending his heavyweight title. He is the number one heavyweight in Utah. So as much as we're talking about wrestling, MMA, this dude is the guy. So make sure you go and get your tickets at fiercefightingchampionship.com. Pay-per-view will also be available if you want to go watch that as well. So question number 1 comes from Parker in Atlanta. How do you remain humble and not get over your head?
How do you not remain humble and get over? Just remember why you're doing this. Remember what made you fall in love with the sport. You know, always know you can have less. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like we're here today and gone tomorrow. This could all go away. I could break my leg and be done. So always remembering why you started, what keeps you going, family first and foremost, you know?
Yeah.
Falling back to the community. Like that's why it's always like whenever you get there, reach back, lift someone else up, reach one, teach one. That makes sense.
Absolutely. I would echo that, and I would just say, dude, look back. Look back at like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Look back 6 years ago. Just look back to where you were. Look at where you are, and that should humble you right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In most cases, when I see people just be a total cocksucker, just total fucking asshole, it's probably because they didn't go through a struggle moment.
100%. I mean, that's the thing too. It's like I'm an everyday guy, but I'm not because I own my craft. But I was at one point, if that makes sense. I mean, I used to be a banker. You know what I mean? It's like I could always be less than what I am.
Yeah.
So that's why I always want more and strive to be more, but always remember why and where I came from.
Absolutely.
Looking back.
Good question, Parker. Jared in West Valley City. Would you like your kids to follow in your career path? That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. And honestly, you know, my legacy is I always go back to the scenario of what Shaq said. I'm rich. My kids aren't rich. You know what I mean? I want my kid to do what he wants to do and use this as a fallback plan. So like he's big into football and basketball right now. You know, go play the highest level. Do it as far as you want to do it. This will always be here. The business will always be here. Even with WWE now, I mean, he can go into college football. If he doesn't get picked up by the NFL, WWE hires people from college athletes. Maybe that's how he gets his job. Maybe that's how he gets in the door. I don't know.
Hey, speaking of college athletes, what's going on with Gable? Is it Gable Stevenson?
I think he had an injury is what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think he's just recovering. He's training now, I believe.
Gotcha. Yeah. I was hoping for that. I thought we were going to see like a Taz moment.
Yeah.
You remember when Taz came out and he was just like knocking fools' heads off?
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting from this guy.
Oh, he's a beast.
Yeah. Great athlete. All right, Jared, good question. For my son, Tavian, it shows a lot of interest in podcasting. He shows a lot of interest in DJing. So, yeah, without a doubt, I always tell him this. I was like, you need to handle the things that you need to handle first.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to tie your shoes the right way. Yeah. Once you get that, you know what I mean, then we need to talk about washing your hands every time you use the bathroom. Once you get that, okay, maybe now we can touch the turntables.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Small steps, but I would love it if my son or if any of my kids took, you know, the footsteps of being in this media space. And Dad's here to help.
Yeah, I mean, he was a part of the shows when we first started too, though. He was a referee, my boy.
Oh, okay.
So like he's already had some experience in the business. I won't let him bump because I don't want to stun his growth. But like, you know, being a ref, being a manager, like he's already has that experience. Now he's at a stage where he's too busy with football and stuff that he doesn't really have time to do it. So do what you want to do. If you want to come back to it, by all means. But like you said, focus on you and you first and foremost.
Yeah. Definitely not pushing him into anything.
Yep.
Okay, Jose and Sandy, what was your first job and would you do it again?
No. My first real job, I worked at Kmart on 5400 South and Bangor Highway.
Oh, rest in peace.
Yes, I know. There's no more, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, would I do it again? No.
Did they have a Pizza Hut inside?
No, they had the little cafe thing, but then by the time I was there, it was closed. It was just the Kmart. No one came in. Like,
here's the thing about Kmart. Kmart, anytime you pass by it, so I lived in Countwood Heights in Murray area.
Yeah.
And at the time when the Kmart was over there off of Van Winkle,
yeah,
anytime I drove by it, there was always like 54 cars outside, but nobody inside.
For real.
I had no idea, like, why are there so many cars, but not even people working?
Yeah.
I'm like, there was like a couple cashiers, a couple people holding up, putting up clothes. I'm like, there's 54 cars outside. There should at least be 49 people in here right now.
Yeah, 100%.
There was nobody.
That's how it always was. There was cars in the parking lot, but are these the employees' cars? Or are they?
Yeah. All right. My first job was Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
So I worked at Pizza Hut 4500 South, 900 East. And that was my first like real paying job. Of course, we all have like lawnmower jobs and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pizza Hut 4500 South, 900 East. And I loved it. I was making the pizzas.
Yeah.
I was hooking up the homies, right? I would, when they say pepperoni, I was like, extra pepperoni.
Yeah.
Would I do it today? Absolutely. I love cooking.
Yeah.
But obviously I can't afford to work there. You know what I mean? But maybe it's me opening my own pizzeria.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be cool.
I guess that's a good scenario. Would I do it again? I mean, obviously I would if I had to. Yeah. But I mean, sitting there in electronics and watching football on Sunday and no one coming in, it was a pretty easy gig. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So, but hey, you're right. You make a good valid point. Maybe we open up the next Kmart. Maybe that's the next step. I don't know.
Walmart kind of cornered the market, though.
It's true.
You see the bullshit Target's going through.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Denise in Brooklyn, New York. Shout out to Brooklyn. When are you coming to New York?
So I will be in New York for SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown, July 7th.
Damn, that's quick.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
So I'm booked at the Garden, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is this your first time performing at the Garden? Being there?
Never been to the Garden, so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be on that show.
Historic, man. That's one of my dreams is I want to do something at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. Something. I don't know if I'm DJing. I don't know if I'm hosting. I don't know what it is, but I want to be in that historic building.
Yep. That's the thing. It's like, well, yeah, absolutely, I'll be there.
Yeah.
The history behind it. It's like not even just wrestling, but boxing and
yeah,
it's like the most famous arena in the world.
And you just see the comedians that sell it out, and like you said, history, man. And New York is just a historic place, you know what I mean? And the people, and I want the New York experience, and I haven't had it yet.
Yeah. So
Denise, to answer your question, I'm doing an internship for a guy out of New York right now. So hopefully I come to New York soon.
Yeah.
I would love to be there, but Manny Lemons will be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Are you booking a podcast while you're out and about doing these things?
In New York or
just in general, while you're out and about? Like, there's plenty of podcasts. Are you booking any of them?
No, I mean, I guess I should look into that, huh?
Get your name out there, bro.
I mean,
especially to those specific communities.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's a good marketing tool right there.
Colorado Springs podcast, hashtag, look at it, boom.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it make sense? You know what I mean? Is it a good look? Do they got good quality? You know what I mean? Like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like my boy Peter Rosenberg, he does the Cheap Heat podcast.
Yeah.
Like so he does another hip hop podcast called Juan Ep. And Juan Ep, he has a partner called Cypher. His name is Cypher Sounds.
Yeah.
And Cypher Sounds is a legendary New York DJ. He's a comedian. He was Dave Chappelle's DJ. He was in like he's the one that broke Rihanna. He's the first one to break Rick Ross. Like he's pretty big deal in hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm interning for him. So that's the guy I'm interning for in New York.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm like waiting for the moment to brush shoulders with Rosenberg, because I want to have this conversation with Rosenberg.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because he's a nerd with this. You know what I mean? So
he's an icon in this industry. So
yeah. Yep. All right. Good question, Denise. I appreciate it. DJ Will Wonder from West Jordan, my guy. Dream match any era. So any era, not you, but this person versus this person.
I really wanted to see Sting versus Taker.
Ooh.
And we almost had it. But everyone's always like, oh, we should have kept it a mythical. I was like, nah, they're just so two unique characters. They didn't have to do too much. I even think today they could still pull it off if they wanted to, because they're still both physically healthy enough to do it.
Yeah.
Would it be like, again, your expectation? If you're expecting them to go wrestle like they did 20 years ago, then you're going to be let down. But if they can go out there and tell a story through where they are in their life and what they've done, then that's where you have to look at it. So that would be my dream match. It's always been my dream match.
That is a great one. I think mine is probably not fun. I mean, it's probably not like something that people want to see.
Yeah.
But I would love to see one of my favorites in the past, which is Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites currently, Ricochet. I think that would be a fun, energetic match.
Yeah.
I think that, both of those guys Ricochet's in his prime now, but Jeff Hardy in his prime, it would just be an incredible match to see what they do.
He can still go pretty good though.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Is he back? Is he taking bumps now?
Yeah, he's back.
Okay, good. Jeff was one of those guys that artistically was just a painting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally, look at his face, you know what I mean? Just incredible.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, last question here from Eric in Salt Lake City. Are all gimmicks welcomed?
Yes and no. It just depends. I mean, are we going to have a extreme rated R gimmick that like is only going to be seen in like a strip club? No, we don't want our kids or our audience to contribute, think that that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's really just depending on what the gimmick is and if it makes sense to the casual viewers, which means like you got to think, is my son going to Google this and see what this is? You know what I mean? And that's how I tell people in my school. It's like, think of your gimmick, but keep it PG. You can do R-rated when you do like bar shows and stuff, but like kids have social media now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want you don't want them to look you up and say, oh, he's into this kind of crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to say that all gimmicks are welcome, I don't say all gimmicks are welcome. You create your own gimmick, but I would stay away from anything that's going to be, politics and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, so no, I guess no, all gimmicks aren't welcome.
I always wondered, like, will there be somebody that has like a trained German Shepherd to come and be a tag team partner?
I've seen a dog wrestle before. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have to look it up. It was making the internet waves, and it was he came in and would bump him and would go pin him. Yeah, so like crazy. The guy would train him and conduct him to like, hey, hit this, hit that, and he would do it. So it was kind of cool. So yeah, I mean,
that's insane. All right. Thank you for your questions. I really appreciate it. 385-240-4666 is the number. If you want to let your voice be heard, you can always leave a text message or leave a voice note anytime, any day, anywhere.
Hey, Dre, would you calm down for a moment and just let me talk? Just at this point, you're just rambling. All right. What's up, everybody? I go by the name of Will Wonder, and I have a podcast called The Will Wonder Pod. I know, super original name, but I promise you'll love it. We talk sports, we talk music, and generally have some really interesting interviews with people that are doing some really cool things. So make sure you check it out wherever you get your podcast. Once again, that is the Will Wonder Pod. All right, Dre, go on about your business, whatever the fuck you were talking about.
If you're a sports athlete looking for a mouthguard to protect your pearly whites, look no further than All Sports Mouthguards.
All Sports Mouthguards, located in West Jordan, Utah. Come visit us, 1385 West, 9000 South in West Jordan, Utah. We offer high quality, made in the USA, custom molded and custom designed mouthguards.
I'm a player, man. I'm a pimp, and I don't have to deal with you. Got your shirt on backwards. Player. Players, fuck up.
P or not P? That is the question.
So with P or not P, back in my day, it was like, yo, keep it player. That's a player move.
Yeah.
But now the kids are saying like push and P, right?
Yeah.
So this is pretty much like a that's cool or that's not cool kind of thing. So the first one, ghosting somebody that owes you money.
Not cool.
Not cool. Pay up, right?
Pay up, yeah. I mean, like, talk about the situation, you know what I mean? Like, why are you ghosting this person, you know?
I don't got it now, but I'll get you later.
Yeah, like, it's like, I mean, I've seen so many relationships ruined to that between family and friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think we can all be adults and talk about the situation and make it work to an understanding at least. I don't know.
If I owe you money, let me know because I have a bad memory.
Yeah, so. I mean, that's the thing, too, because sometimes it's like, hey, you owe me $20. Like, do I? I don't remember. Oh, maybe I do. I forgot. You know what I'm saying?
Remember football season? We betted on the job.
Yes, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, next one. Dating a homie's ex.
No, not cool.
Is that tough for you? Because you have a notable ex, somebody with like a name and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, I don't know. You just got to stay away from that. Like, it's like, there were so many fish in the sea. Why are you going after that one? Why do you want the drama and the tension? Just leave it alone. You know what I mean?
Have you ever stole somebody's girl?
No.
You're not Mr. Steal Your Girl?
Bro, I've been in a relationship, for 7 years, and 7 years prior to that was my baby's mama. So like 14 years of relationship. I'm just barely new to this single thing, man.
How is that? Are you doing the Hinge or?
Yeah, the Tinder and stuff. I don't know. Like, it's too much. It's too time consuming. You know what I mean?
What do you put as your profile picture? Are you in your trunks?
No. No. I used to do that, and then it was like, well, no.
I think that'd be cringy, yo.
Like, I do gym photos,
Okay.
Maybe that's why. But it's like, I'm never here, so it's tough to really have a dating life.
Yeah, it'd be tough to date somebody. Oh, I guess that's probably why most of the guys in the industry
date within it. Because they understand the travel schedule. It's like, I've literally been home since Sunday. I'm leaving tonight, and I'm gone for a week, and I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, It's all the time. It's not just like, oh, this is just this time. It's like, no, this is all the time.
When I was looking on Ricochet's page, I realized that he's dating the announcer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's dope.
Because they travel together. They understand the schedule. They're always around. Like, that's how you can make a relationship work. And that's why me and her worked for so long, because we were always together wrestling and traveling. But like, when you're on the road, like, you're just, I don't know. I've never been the guy like, oh, I want to go to the bar and hit on the women. You know what I mean? Like, I go there for a purpose. I go to the work. Let's go back to the hotel after,
Have you listened to Ric Flair's Rogan, the latest one?
Yeah.
It was not like that for him.
Nah, my boy was a superstar. My boy was a rock star. I met him at the WrestleCon, WrestleMania 38, and I was wearing a suit, and he just comes up to me. He's like, I like your suit. Woo, you know what I mean? Like, I was.
He gave you a woo?
Yeah, I was so freaking cool.
Oh man,
it's on my social media. I have to pull it up, send it to you. But
the
yeah,
nature boy, man.
Yeah,
I love his daughter.
Yeah,
is she injured right now? Where's she at?
She's still there.
She kind of like left though. She was ghost.
Yeah, I think they're just transitioning her to do the next thing.
Gotcha. All right. So next one, giving your friend an edible without them knowing.
Oh yeah.
Just slip them. Hey, it's a brownie. Just had it.
I've done that before.
Damn.
Well, sometimes these guys need to lighten up. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I remember one time we got back from a road trip, and we were watching football or something, just chilling in my living room, and we had those donuts that had like the edible things on it, like the gummy bears and stuff. Just threw one on it. The kid had no idea. Next thing you know, 20 minutes later, he's standing on my couch like Spider-Man. But like, he's never tried it before. You know? So it's like, he would never try it. So now he tried it, and now he likes it.
That's funny, because I had an edible in Vegas.
Yeah.
I couldn't get off the couch.
Yeah.
I was like, I literally thought I was a part of the couch.
Bro, it's different for everyone, I think. Because like, I'm the same way. Like, I use it to go to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chill, but
I'm sure it helps with recovery too for you guys.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I've resorted to it. It's just to recover. I don't do it for anything else other than that.
You guys' body go through so much.
Yeah.
All right. Not signing an autograph or taking a picture with a fan.
No, you should always sign autographs. You should always take the photo. They're the reason why you're there. Why would you never? Give back to the fans who invested in you, who bought a ticket to come see you that night. I mean,
what if they have like an ops t-shirt on? Like, is there somebody you hate in this industry? Or maybe it's a part of the storyline where you're just like, I will never be friends with him.
No, because I think at the end of the day, if they're coming to you because they believe in your performance and your art, they want to take something home that they've seen from you. You know what I mean? They want to be able to say, I met Manny Lemons, he signed this for me. You know what I mean? Regardless if I'm a good guy or a bad guy. Like, if I'm a heel about it, I'm kind of heelish about it, but at the end of the day, I'll still do it because I don't want them to ever be like, man, he's an asshole. You know what I mean? I want them to take the experience home with them. I want them to tell the story about Manny Lemons.
I love it. All right, buying a Vision Pro knowing you can't afford it. Have you heard of this thing?
What is the Vision Pro?
So the Vision Pro, Apple just announced they got their own VR. Well, actually, it's an AR. It's an augmented reality headset now.
Yeah.
So, similar to like Instagram where like Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Like where you can go move your camera. Oh, there's a Pokemon. So now you can use your apps just like that. So if you want to watch your match, you'll have these goggles on, and you can put a TV anywhere in your house. It's an augmented reality.
Oh, then yeah.
$3,500.
Oh man, yeah, of course.
But you can't afford it. So buying it knowing you can't afford it.
Yeah.
You say fuck it, just do it.
You only live once.
Boom.
Your money will return.
That's how I tell my wife anytime I buy equipment.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really have $1,200, but hey, I'm gonna buy this piece of equipment.
Yeah, like it's like you have to. I think like you have to live. You have to live life.
You figure it out.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a grinder. If you're not a grinder, don't do it.
There you go.
If you're a hustler, you'll re-up your money.
Yep.
If you're not, don't do it.
Yeah.
All right. So go buy that Vision Pro. All right, a couple more. Sitting in VIP, but you didn't buy the bottle.
Sure. You want me in VIP? By all means, you buy the bottle. How nice of you.
So I'm the guy. I bought the bottle.
Yeah.
You in VIP? You just gonna drink my bottle too?
I mean, if you're sharing, why not? We ain't here for a good time. We ain't here for a long time. We're here for a good time.
Manny Lemons is definitely gonna be dressed better than me in VIP, drinking my alcohol.
Yeah, probably.
All right, showing up to the function empty-handed.
No,
gotta bring something.
Gotta always
right?
bring something. Yeah.
What's your go-to?
Chips and soda.
Are you a cook? Do you cook?
No.
Damn, Manny.
I know. I mean, it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't like to cook. It's just the meal prep and the stuff. It's just so time consuming. You know what I mean?
What does your diet look like?
It's freaking chicken or rice 90% of the time.
Really?
I'm so sick of it. It's chicken, rice, steak, a lot of red meats, and that's probably why I don't have a six-pack. But you got to eat clean.
And then how often do you work out?
Twice a day.
What?
Yep. And even when you're on the road, you find a way.
Are you cardio or are you just strength training?
Well, so I'll do 15 minutes of cardio to start each workout, and then I'll do either a chest muscle or leg muscle, depending on whatever I'm doing that day. So like today we did chest. Probably after this interview, I'll probably go hit legs. You know what I mean?
And then how often do you train in the ring?
3 times a week. 3 times a week if I'm not doing shows. If I'm doing shows, then like for example, I won't be at training tomorrow because I'll be working a show. So it's like, but you're still in the ring, you're still around the industry, you're still learning and absorbing. You know what I mean?
Are you testing new moves out live? Or are you testing it? How does that work?
Tested in training. Never do it live. I mean, because you have to be able to hit that move 10 times out of 10 on the person for it to be in your moveset. If you can't do that, I'm not gonna let you take that move because we're giving our bodies to each other. We're giving our lives.
Yeah.
You drop me on my head, break my neck, I'm dead. You know what I mean?
Well, that's one thing that's scary about the lemon drop. If you catch the dude underneath that chin,
you
could really knock him out.
Yeah.
Knock a tooth out. And what's another thing? Why don't you guys wear mouthpieces?
I don't know. It's just I've just never. I don't know. I guess I just trust myself to not get hit in that area. You know what I mean?
Do you have to trust somebody to take your finisher too, though, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a part in your finisher where you need their cooperation.
Yeah.
So, is there certain guys that you're like, nah, we're not gonna do it tonight?
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I think I can hit my move pretty much on everybody, and that's the reason why I chose that move. But there's the same scenario. There's a lot of guys like in the wrestling industry that don't have the quality of training that I have. So it's like to trust them to make because if they make it look like shit, why am I gonna hit it on them? Because that ruins my product. So okay, well you can't hit that. Well, let's go for a move, duck the line, roll up, finish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something to that scenario. Like we'll make it work.
How many times you get lemon in your eye?
All the time. All the time. I mean, it's you bite it, and sometimes when I explode, it just hits me in the eye, and like I'll even tell the guy I'm blind. Where are we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
During the match, but
damn,
that's why I don't do it till the end now.
Man, I can talk to you all day about this stuff, man. Yeah. We're almost at an hour and a half, so we'll wrap it up here. Good, we got a couple more. All right, starting a movie with a spouse, but finishing it alone. Have you ever been there where you and your girl, you start a movie or something, and then you're like, you fall out, whatever, you fall asleep, and then next day you just watch it alone?
Yeah. I think it would have been more for them. Like, I'm not really into the big Netflix and watching stuff, but like I would get invested into a show and then I wouldn't be around and then she would finish the series without me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I've done that too. Like for Seinfeld, I'm a big Seinfeld guy, so I'll watch Seinfeld all the time.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You follow comedians?
Yeah.
Who's some of your comedians that you like right now?
You put a brain fart in my head. I'm a big Will Ferrell guy. I mean, I like Chris Rock. Is that kind of
legends?
Yeah, like it's like I'm more of the older base. Yeah,
Will Ferrell's less stand up, more comedic movie type of sitcom. Yeah. Chris Rock is just a legend. I was just talking to Bert Kreischer's people. He's coming to the Delta Center. Are you familiar with Bert?
Yeah.
So he's coming here with the Fully Loaded tour.
Nice.
And that thing is stacked, bro. Like, people of Utah, if you have a chance to go see this man in tour, go check out Burt Kreischer. He's incredible.
Yeah.
But I was just talking to his folks, and the guys that are on that tour, like Andrew Santino, those guys, this new generation, and I say new generation, these guys have been doing it for 10, 15 years. But these guys, and I think a lot of it has to do with Rogan and Chappelle, but these guys are just killing it out the park, going viral off of bits. I'm like, yeah, that's what I love.
Yeah. I mean, I used to watch a lot of Steve Harvey's old stuff too. You know what I mean?
Oh, legend.
Yeah. Like, it's like, so I watch a lot of the older guys, but I mean, to be honest, I just don't have time to do it, if that makes sense.
I feel you.
When I'm on the road, like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of motivational videos and stuff like that, you know?
I feel you. All right, next one. We got a couple more here. Wearing light-up shoes as an adult.
Yeah.
Like the LA Gears.
Oh, yeah. Why not?
All right. This is the last one. Being a transplant in a new state, but not claiming the state that you're in. So we often see this. A lot of California people live here 35 years.
Yeah.
They moved here when they were 6.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, I'm from California.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I feel like I kind of did that. I still tell people I'm from Atlanta. I don't live in Atlanta anymore because it's better. Oh, you're from Atlanta. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I guess Utah. I always say Utah too whenever I'm there, so it's kind of 6s.
I lived in Portland, Oregon for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was majority of my childhood. And moving back to Utah, this is my birthday. I was born in Glendale. I'm from Glendale. And every moment, every day, I'm like, nah, I'm from Utah. I'm from Glendale. I went to Mountain View Elementary, Heartland Apartments.
Yeah.
And I give my story. And I feel like there's a certain pride in that because, and here's my point, Manny, when Manny Lemons makes it and they look at your bio, it's not going to say Atlanta, Georgia.
No.
It's going to say Utah. So there's a pride in that.
Yeah.
And I hope that people take pride in that right now and not later.
Yeah.
Right? Now people are starting to say, oh, Utah. Why? Because Post Malone's down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Like, the Utah Jazz get a championship? No. Everybody's from Utah once that happens.
It's true.
But don't be that person that shows up once we make it.
Once we make the party, yeah.
Like, go through that struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go through that struggle, claim this, our section, because, man, I'll tell you what, in my experience, Utahns will ride with you once you get to that moment. Look at Royal Bliss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once Royal Bliss was out of here, and that's our guys.
Yeah.
Homeboy from Imagine Dragons, that's our guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, you're right. And honestly, tracking back, I guess I don't do it that much because a lot of my entrances, when I don't say like I'm plucked pride from the Lemon Tree, I do say I'm from Kearns, Utah. So I do rep K-Town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like born and raised. Like I always. So I do that. I guess sometimes when people ask me, I don't say Utah. Like if it's like a generic question like me and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some guys will say, oh, are you from Utah? Or are you Mormon? Or you know what I mean? Like that's the first thing they always say.
Always.
And it's like, no matter what, it's like, no, if I just say from Atlanta, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
But I do rep K-Town, brother.
Hey, Alexa, can you show me a new barber?
Don't worry, I got you.
Boogie Down Barbershop in Taylorsville is now open. Anything from gentleman's cuts, taper, fade, or if you want to treat yourself to a nice hot towel shave, Boogie Down Barbershop has you covered. Cuts for men and kids. Book your appointment today at boogiedownbarbershop.com.
Are you sick of podcasts that just interview people with the same questions and gossiping nonsense?
Are you tired of hearing about what's wrong with the world? Can you locate your nearest orphanage?
Who cooked the Last Supper?
R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head.
Seppuku Harakiri.
Where is Mavis Beacon?
This is Hos.
And this is Host Beefy.
Listen to the Beans and Rice podcast.
Exclusively in Braille and all streaming platforms.
Patent pending.
Manny Lemons, I want to wrap this thing up. We've been going an hour and a half. I hope to get you back in here. I want to invite my boy Will Wonder.
Yeah.
He's a wrestling stan. I feel like we have a cool little wrestling conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I could talk to you for hours and days, brother. But what's the socials? Where can we find you and all that good? How can we support you?
Biggest thing would be Manny Lemons on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can follow my promotion, Devotion Championship Wrestling, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube as well. I'm starting, obviously, to follow the vlogs, Manny Lemons on YouTube. And, just the generic platforms.
I got a question for you. I forgot I was going to ask this. I come from the hip hop culture background.
Yeah.
I've been doing hip hop in Salt Lake City since 2005.
Yeah.
Since I was a 14-year-old teenager. There was a lot. There's a lot more community and uplifting, but there was that crabs in the bucket mentality. How was it with the wrestling community?
So when you say crabs in the bucket, what do you mean particularly? Like,
if somebody, so you're climbing out of this bucket,
people pull you
but
down.
people are pulling you down.
That's the biggest thing is everybody's trying to get ahead of you. So everybody's trying to pull you down. That's why you have to kind of stay humble and stay motivated and kind of stay in your own lane and don't go to the drama this way or that way. Don't entertain the drama, because if you do that, there's no reason for them to try to pull you down. But if I get over today, there's going to be 10 other people in the back saying, no, Manny's this, Manny's that. I should be in that spot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's huge.
And is Devotion the only promotion here in Utah?
I'm going to say, yeah. The only legit promotion. I mean, you get other indies that pop up every now and then, but we've ran consistently every month, either in Provo, Ogden, Salt Lake. We're always at Liquid Joe's doing the bar fights, for the last 5 years. And that's something to be proud of. That means we've created a brand and a product that people can be invested in and interested in. Our school's been running for the last 5 years. We're the only school that's been running consecutively for the 5 years, even during the pandemic.
With the school, and I'm wrapping this thing up, people. I guarantee you, I'm wrapping it up. But I want to squeeze this lemon as much as I can.
Yeah, you're good, brother.
Is there an age limit for the school?
No, and actually it's, as long as we don't want kids who are like really 5 and under just because it's the attention span with it. We're actually going to launch our kids camp that'll come in here in the end of June. So be on the look on that for the socials. I want to say it's June 22nd and 23rd, give or take a day. But we're just waiting for the poster to be finalized, and we're going to put that out there. As long as the parent's signature, I'm usually pretty good with it, let's be realistic. If they can't take care of themselves, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then by all means, we're not a daycare. Mm-hmm. But if they're genuinely there, invested, and want to learn the art and the craft, by all means, I don't think age should be a limit.
I say that because if you look at the young kid like yourself, that tried grappling, but had interest in pro wrestling, I think this is a great opportunity for those kids.
100%. And that's why I always leave that door open, because I was that kid who wanted to go to wrestling school. I never had the opportunity to. We have the opportunity to do that for that young kid now.
An accredited wrestling school, by the way. Awesome. Do you want to throw some love to some sponsors? I know you threw me some really cool shades here, and you gave me your official shirt.
So Pit Vipers, Devotion Champs Wrestling officially sponsored my boy King Goots. Shout out to the homie for hooking us up, always making us look stylish. And a lot of people in the indies are wearing Pit Vipers, but we're legitimately the only company that's actually officially sponsored by Pit Viper. That's why I was able to wear Pit Vipers on AEW and where I'm on Impact. So we got McNeil Engineering, which is a good sponsor. Light Tree Studio, which is the house that we're in. They're a great sponsor. Got a lot of good people in our community.
If there's somebody that wants to get their name and branding out there to help sponsor, how can they reach you?
Reach me just on the socials. Facebook. Facebook's usually pretty good because that's the one I'm kind of coherent on quite a bit. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I'm very responsive on all of them.
Awesome. Manny Lemons, I am appreciative, man. I appreciate you sitting here with me today. I am a huge fan of wrestling, and I'm a huge fan of Utah athletics, from MMA to pro wrestling. And so I'm in all your guys' corner as much as I can be. So I look forward to the next one. And yeah, man, thank you.
I appreciate you having me on, brother. It's good to finally make this work.
Yes, sir. Make sure you go on to allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. Go get some merch. I got some shirts up there. We just dropped Hip Hop 50, telling hip hop stories from people from our community. So go check it out. Will Wonders is out right now. And yeah, man, y'all have the day you deserve. Protect your light. We out. Peace.